All right, students. So I'll do this video for you guys because I know it's late, but late in the process. But if it can help, I'll do that. So I'll go through the whole process. So I'll separate that in several videos so that you guys are able to do it step by step. Okay. So let me unzip this models. Perfect. So we'll start with the UVs. I won't spend a lot of time on this because we've had plenty of opportunities in class, but this is necessary in order to be able to do the rest. So I'll uh, I'll do that too. So okay, so I'll select the low. As you know at this point, I'll isolate. I have a shortcut here. Okay. So I'll start by selecting the parts that need to be UV'd. So here on this one, okay. So I go in face mode, double click on this part here, and this will let me isolate this. So let's just do straight away a planar to have everything merged together. Okay. So the rest should be UV'd properly. Okay. Uh, and yeah, so there's this guy too over here. So I told you in class, but just to make sure, so if you go in vertex mode, select all the vertices, shift and right click, you click merge vertices on top, and then merge vertices again. So I think there was an issue with some two vertices that weren't combined here. So you just press Q to get out of the tool after that, and that's it. So let's start with UVing this. So I'll do a planar. Okay, so I'll go into edge mode, double click this edge loop over here. Control B, which is my shortcut that I created. If you want to have the same shortcut, you go over to setting, preferences, hotkey editor. So this is for the cut option here. So if I go into runtime command, control B, sorry, not runtime, but hotkey, control B. So it's called cut UV edges. So if you want to assign this, so you just get back to the application command right here, cut UV edges, cut UV edges, and then you assign it a new hotkey. So press the two buttons, Control and B, and then save and close. Now you'll have this. If you want to, you can go under cut and sew, and the cut button it does the same thing. So now that this has been set up, so we'll do a selection around here. So you see the angle is close to 90 degrees. This is why I'm selecting this edge here. So Control B to break, to cut. So that's it. And then face mode, click once, shift and double click the next one. It selects the whole loop. So I'll move this aside. I'll cut in one corner. So I'll select this edge, for example, and Control B, so which is the cut option here. Again, I'll go quick through there, but you can, you know, fast forward and so on and so forth. Rewind, I meant. Okay, so now I make this sort of straight, and then I'll do straighten on this back. So if I look, the UVs should be great. Yeah, there's no stretching nowhere. So we have a great rectangle. So it won't take much space in the UV space. Now the rest the rest of this. So this, if I do click this one, shift double click, and then select and grow. So this adds one polygon to this side and another polygon to the other side. That's the full spectrum of what I want to select. So here, this is in planar, from the planar projection before. So we'll do an unfold to make sure that there's no stretching nowhere. Okay, so selecting this, shift double click, and I need to again grow, select grow to include the other polygons that were just below. So I'll move this to the side, okay, and I'll do the same thing as before. So I'll find a corner and I'll select the edges here, Control B to break. Here, select everything, face mode, unfold. Okay, so in order to help me unfold it, what I can do also is to break it into parts. So since this is going in different directions, so top, left, right, and bottom, so I can break this in 4 different parts if I want. So here, so it will take less UV space when I do a layout. So unfold, and then I'll do a straighten. Here, this one, I'll orient and then straighten. Okay, gave me a issue on top. So I'll select this option here. I'll just rotate this a little bit because the angle is bigger than 30 degrees, so it's giving me an issue. So I'll just, I could change the angle, but I might get some other mistakes. So let me just do it like this. So face mode, double click to select the whole thing, and then straighten, and you don't have no issues no more. So we'll go transform and rotate 90 degrees. Okay, so just so they're aligned the same orientation. And again, here, double click this edge, Control B to break this, orient. Okay, this orient. Same here. So since we know what the result was in the previous time that we did it, we know that it's going to be the same result here. So we'll just fix this right away. There, okay, and then face and straighten. Perfect. Here, double click this one and straighten. Now we have pretty rectangles here. So since this is its own face, so I'll leave it as is. So it's facing the same angle, so it won't stretch. So if we look at the, let's just select all of these here and this guy there. Oh, I think I'll just break this one up. I'm not very good with the mouse, so let me just make this bigger. And I'll cut in the corners. So here, Control B. Control B. And Control B. So here, let's show you, let's do get and set. So, okay, so if we want, so at the bottom, you can shift and left click on layout. It opens up a menu. So just make sure that preserve 3D ratios is enabled, so that way you don't have to do the texel density every time. So by having this done, it makes sure that the squares of everything will be the same size. So if I do this here, so the checkerboard, so it shows me that all these squares for all the parts are now the same size. So this is what we want. So this part is done now. Okay, so now I removed the isolation. So it's this button over here if you want to isolate or remove it. Okay, so this part from me doing a planar and moving it to the side earlier makes it really easy to select. So I'll do the UVs for this. So I've done this a couple times in class, this part especially, so I'll do that quicker. So click this one here, shift double click the last one of the row. Let's do a planar. Actually, let me do the opposite. So I'll take these guys and move them to the side. So if you go under transform, you can change this to 1 so that it moves your UVs exactly 1 square away. So I'll do this when you click the right or left arrow. So I'll do this another time. Okay. So that whenever I work, I'll be right. It's if I, for example, do a planar, it'll put it in the UV 1001, which is the main one. So it will always, this will be my working square. So this is done. I then need to unfold it so that it's not squished. As you can see, this is a long rectangle. Now it's like a fat one. So let's do unfold, bam. Okay, orient. Okay, now the rest. Let me, so I control and marquee select here. To deselect these faces, I'll do these ones. So they're at a 90-degree angle from this face here. So we'll just do a planar to be able to. So since both sides are selected at the moment, doing one planar will create 2 UV islands at the same time, which is just time saving. So we'll do unfold. Now 2 parts have been UV'd at the same time. So again, I go to the other side. Here, deselect this, deselect the center, for example, and make sure this side is not selected. So I have this part that's orange that's selected and this part that's orange that's selected. So same thing, planar, unfold. So 2 new parts. And now let's do from here, shift double click, planar, and unfold. Okay, orient this guy too. Now the rest is detached from these pieces. So as you can see, there's a white line here. So technically this piece is good to go. So I could just do an unfold on this piece. Here it works perfectly. So orient. Okay, let's do select these guys, orient everything, and then lay out together so that they're all in the same UV space. So now, just for the sake of organization, I'll just rotate this so it's the same orientation as this one. Okay, so this part is done. You see, 13 minutes away. We have 2 out of 3 parts done. So let's do the last part, which is this one over here. So it is the door low, if you want. So let's, again, I'll select everything. It will be simpler. I'll do planar. So when you see those widgets, it means that you have the the tool still in effect. So I'll press Q to get out of there. So I'm able to work from there. Okay. So this I'll approach in a different manner. So it will be harder to select all the faces manually one by one. So that's a lot of selection. So what I'll do is I'll go in edge mode. I'll double click the edge here. I'll deselect this one. I'll select this one, and go to the bottom. Shift and click. Control B. Now this is broken down, cut. So here, same thing, double click here, and then underneath, Control B. Now, I did break here, but I don't mind. We'll go back to that later. So now let me select these and do unfold. It should unfold correctly. Okay, so here, because I didn't break on top. Here. Okay, so we'll do this face here to this face here. So these two aren't attached. So this is its own thing and this is its own thing. So by clicking the first and then shift and double clicking the last, it selects the whole loop. I'll do planar, unfold. Okay, you can click the center as opposed to the little arrows to move. So Q to get out the planar mode. Same here, face one, shift, double click, last face, planar, and then unfold. Okay, so that's another piece done. So you see that by doing so, this piece now is all detached from pretty much everything else. So the only part is this one here. So if I do break here and cut, sorry, I've come from 3ds Max, and in Max it's break and not cut. So here, and same on the other side. So I'll cut here and here. Now that means that the faces that I have on the sides, so these guys here and the other side, so the same but on this side here, these guys are going to be ready to unfold. So here, this is this one. So if you hover your mouse over the viewport and press F, it's going to focus, sorry, my shortcut is Z. So if you press F, it's going to focus to what piece is selected in here. So when you don't know what you're looking at, it's the same thing if I go over to here and then press F, it focuses back to the part. So unfold, okay, here, F. So now in planar mode, sorry, the cat is coming. Okay. Okay, vänta. Up. Okay, no cat. Okay, that's it. Now, so I want to select the top part here. I'll click this guy here. Oops. I'll double click it to have the edge loop, Control B to break. So same here, double click, Control B to break. Same here, Control B, here, Control B. So the idea here is that we have a cylinder and we have another cylinder and is sandwiched in between here. So cylinders are just rectangles that are attached on both ends. So if I select, for example, this edge underneath, I can break it, and then by going to face mode and selecting the whole thing, I can do unfold, and it will give me a great, so you see how bad it looks now, but if you do unfold, it gives you this nice rectangle. So it's going to be easy to to lay out at the end. So orient, and then I'll do the same with these guys over here. I'll deselect these, so now unfold. Okay, let me just do a layout of these so that they're bigger. Okay, now I see more what I'm working with. So I'll select everything again and do orient so that most of them are straight. Okay. Here I seem to have an issue. So here, by mistake, I cut this part. So I select the edge. I see that both of them that are connected together are selected at the same time. So it confirms that it's the same edge. So I do a so to merge them together, to attach them together. And then double click this in face mode, then unfold. Perfect. Orient. That face is done. Now, what's next? So we have this that's done. What's this part here? Okay, so I went with the easiest before, so that now the most complex part is at the end. So by literally detaching everything prior to this, so what it it creates its own shape for this, right? So you don't have to detach it from anything. So what's this here? So I select and then I press F. So it's this side that I forgot to break. So I'll go here, edge mode, and I'll Control B to break. I can attach the top part here to the rectangle that I have here. I don't know which of the rectangles it is. So to attach it here because it's a continuity of the rectangle. So let me sew this and then let's do an unfold. And you see how it just added to the rectangle. So being like this. So the cat is back. Give me just 1 second. I'll just get. Okay. Bye. Okay. Sorry. Close the door. Okay, so this is done. So we'll do the same on the other side. So let's. Okay. Oh, here I forgot the connection between the two. Let me isolate it again. Oh yeah, there's a modeling mistake here. So this guy doesn't connect to anything. Oh, same here. Oh well, it's too late to fix these now. So let's say the model is perfect. Let me just, so I'll select this vertex and this vertex, and I'll create a connect in between the both of them, just so that when we bake, there's no issue. Okay, so we redo the same thing. So you can fast forward this part, same thing, but on the other side. So planar to detach it, select one at the bottom. Here, shift, double click, unfold, rectangle, bam. Okay, and now here, this part. So I don't have any view cube. So the view cube being here on the top right. You guys, I think by default they re-added the view cube, but I have shortcuts for this. Um, so this is why I go back to the front view so that it's easier for selection. Now planar, and then select one here, Control B, double click this, oops, and unfold. Okay, that's another pretty rectangle. Let's select everything, layout to make them bigger, and orient, just to remove the chaos. What's this say? So technically these parts should be fine. So I'll select the both of them. Oh, this one's not UV. So I'll break this here, Control B, and I'll select this edge here. Since it's white, I know that it's broken down, so I want to attach it to the rectangle that's going around here. So I'll select this edge here, and so unfold. Bam. Okay, face mode still, double click on this. Okay, works. What's this? Okay, did I break it before? Doesn't seem so. So let me just select one edge, Control B, double click, unfold. Okay, so here's, so this is this one. Okay, unfold. Okay, let me just move these out of the way. Perfect. So let's redo an unfold just to make sure and orient. Okay, now just these guys. Again, cylinders, so it's going to be very quick. Ah, I did hide them with the isolate, so I'll get back. So you can click here to remove the isolation. So yeah, again, these guys are pretty simple cylinders all the way. So planar, oops, click once, double click the second one, planar. So the idea is that here I create myself some, I unfold cylinders. Um, just like, for example, if you take like a toilet paper roll and you cut it at the bottom and that you unfold it, it would create a rectangle. So that's the same principle. So, oops, here, shift and unfold. Okay, this guy, unfold. So I don't really look at here initially. I just work from here and I sort of am expecting a certain result, knowing that I cut the geometry on places. So since it's pretty simple here, it's just additional cylinders that are slightly different from the previous one. So I'll orient this one and I'll make this one straighten to be sure that it's a perfect rectangle. So again, just like we mentioned in class, the idea is for the squares to not stretch. So if they would not be UV, there would be stretching. And when you start painting, it's just chaos. You can't paint on an object. So just as the uh, toilet paper roll idea, so you tell the software to unfold it so that you tell it how to understand the how to apply 2D textures onto the 3D model. This is the sole purpose of UVs. So here, let me remove this for less visual chaos. So double click this edge. Because there's a triangle here, it doesn't go all around, so I'll shift and double click the other edge. I'll do Control B to break. Sorry, Antro, I'm going to read your message soon. Okay, so these guys I've done with you in class. So let me unfold first. Okay, this is what you get here. So if I show you like this and isolate, there's a bit of stretching here. So, and here. So if we were to make it smaller, the stretching would become a lot more noticeable. So we need to fix this. So in order for it to be fixed, so it's as if you would take like a cardboard box with tape at, so you know there are flaps on the sides of a cardboard box. So let me just open. Um, so you see those flaps here. So if you were to add tape, to those two when they're closed down and trying to open it, of course, there will be force. So because of the tape, so since they're attached, you wouldn't be able to open them this way. So this is visually what the force. So right now, it's not letting the full shape being unfolded, um, because there's tension over here. So just because, maybe you can test it out, but just because I did it a couple times, I know where to break. But here, the idea, so there's a logic to this, but so here, this and this goes at a 90-degree angle. So this is where I was mentioning, like if you had tape on top of here. So let me show you with this. If I do an unfold, how here it will remove all the tension. And even though the squares aren't straight, so they're skewed, but still it fixes a lot of the stretching. You see how the cubes are continuous in terms of the lines here. And if we look at the other side, since there's this tension on the corner, it creates this distortion here and here where everything is stretched out. So we'll do the same on the opposite side, which is just selecting those two and Control B and then unfold. Oops. Okay, so now let's take a look just to make sure. There's a bit of stretching here. So if we want, we could just separate it and just do Control B. This would be its own rectangle, and this would be Control B, its own rectangle, so that there's no stretching at all. So let me orient this. So you'll see no stretching. So this is, if you want to make sure that there's no stretching at all, detach those pieces. I think that's the best advice here. Unfold, orient. So you see how when it's rectangles that are made from the shape initially, how it makes really the shape being um, untouched with the stretching. So the more primitive, the better, because you're gonna get better results in terms of texturing. Okay, so that's done. Since there's no stretching in the middle here, I won't, so it has enough breathing room here to, but with an unfold, it just gives it this extra space that it needs to be able to breathe. So there's no need to detach those. So we'll do the same with the other screw. So again, here, face mode, select everything planar, everything planar. So the reason why I do both sides is that I don't need to do this one, because automatically from doing both sides, I cut here without me doing additional work. So I select the bottom ones here and I break, so I cut, select this, shift and to here, Control B again, so this unfold. Perfect. Here, straighten, now edge, double click, and Control B. And since we've done it on the other side, we know that we just need to select these two here and these two here. Oops. Control B. And I'll do like on the other side, so I'll select the edge loop here to make sure to avoid the stretching. Oops. Go back to face mode and unfold all of this, and it will all lay flat perfectly. Okay, so we have these two. here and this guy. What's this? We're almost done. Okay, so this is this face. So since it's uh, um, the cap of a cylinder, so the top part, it doesn't need to be detached because this is facing. So this is one of the things that happens. So before you see how, since we did a planar from this perspective, the camera doesn't see any information, right? So if we look at the UVs, they will be stretched. Um, so if we select this and do unfold, the software doesn't understand. It generates an issue where you see how everything's now the same color. This is not what you want. So to fix this, either you click automatic to unfold it by itself, or you could also do shift, sorry, right click on the button planar, which is going to use a different camera for the planar mode. So if you look at the result, okay, it doesn't give me different options. So let's do shift and left click, and then we can select a different camera angle. Okay, now along the x-axis, now I see the shape. Okay, so automatic goes a lot faster, but sometimes right clicking on the planar button, just so left clicking is one angle and right clicking is another camera angle. You see, so this is from the side and this is from the front. So here, unfold. Just for clarity, I'll select everything and do layout and orient. So I'll rotate these two. This has not been unfolded. Okay. Do a new layout to see. This is skewed, so orient layout. Okay. Perfect. So this, I think everything's done. Let's take a look if anything stretches. This part. So yeah, so it's the issue of the camera that I was telling you about. So unfortunately, there's no like easy way to select this piece. Okay, so yeah, so you just select, so it's just jammed the piece in the bottom left here. So I'll deselect everything else. There's no visual feedback at all. So this is a software problem. So if I do planar, okay, now it's back. Okay, so it selected this ring piece also. That was problematic that I didn't see. So here, orient and layout again. So this, I'll rotate just for everything to be aligned in the same direction. Oops. Ah, yeah. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, I mentioned it in class. The reason why I tend to put everything in the same orientation is if you have wood, for example, technically the wood grain would automatically follow the right orientation, as opposed to if you have this guy over here that's 90 degrees from the rest. So the rest would have the right wood direction, but not this one. So this is just a habit I took of placing everything. So let's just, okay, so everything's done on this one. So now all three parts are UV. So I'll select the group from the mailbox flow, isolate, I select everything. So now there's parts pretty much everywhere. And then I'll do a layout to pack everything together. Okay, and now we have our UVs. So technically I could just export as is, and that would be the final step. But I just want to make sure. So the idea is to fill the space the most. So I'll rotate some parts to make the best use of my UV space. So here, I'll just do a quick verification for the textile density to make sure that everything's the same size. Yeah. So my preserve UV ratios in here did work. So this option here. So now I'll take these guys. So it goes against what I said earlier, but in order to make the most of the UV space for this one asset, so by rotating those, you see how the rest just became bigger. So instead, so if I go back, so if I look at this, so there's too many of them in this, so in the horizontal manner, so they're slammed next to each other. So I'll just by rotating these, it makes more space on the horizontal space so that it can make the rest of the parts bigger. So let's do layout. Okay, so I think I'll stop here because I could try and find ways to orient the rest to fill in the spots as much as possible. But if at this point you need this video, probably you're in a rush to get this over with. So this is why won't go through this process. But technically, if you want to make it cute and make it perfect, you would need those to be sort of using the most of the space. So one last thing. Okay, so this is not. Okay, so only three parts to unwrap. The rest was done already. The rest is laid flat already. So um, if these side parts aren't straight, is because you did unwrap on these. So if so, I strongly suggest you get back the rest of the body low mesh so that you have those ready to work um, UVs. Okay, so I'll finish this video here and I'll start a new video for the export and the baking process.